Okay,
It's India, so this is what you expect.
You just pay for that tickets.
okay.
All were
Okay,
made
this is the first time I'll use this here, so.
liberated souls. In that situation, while all remained in that perfect state, they began offering liberations into the
Repeating
sacrifice.
my words.
And when the Brahmanas offered ghee into the fire according to the Vedic rules, those offerings were offered to your
Wow,
sons.
it's me.
Saw ghee
Oh,
offered
someone else is playing. So, no, someone else is playing. Yeah, I didn't
at the
mute
sacrifice.
everybody. That's the problem. Someone else is very devoted and they're listening to me. So, okay. All right, I think. Now we're on. So, anyway, it's good to see everybody. Welcome to Govardhan. And, uh-oh.
Another one.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
So, nice to see, all right, again, we'll start. Nice to see everybody at Govardhan. And of course, this is the most auspicious, highest place in the world. To be highest place in the universe, highest place in the spiritual world, highest place anywhere. To be at Govardhan. And Radhakund is the highest place of Govardhan. So this is very important while we're here to have the proper etiquette, respect for the holy place, and especially the residents here. Now, some of you may see the residents sometimes as being a little oppositional or trying to take your money. Well, these residents are actually eternal, the ones who live here are eternal Brajavasis. And there's an interesting story in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about the residents of Vrindavan. Old names. Anyway, so once upon a time, someone can remind me. There was a devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who was an incarnation of Satyabhama. Do you remember his name? No, not Damodar. Anyway, so I forget the name right now. No, that's all right. So anyway, so he's considered an incarnation of Satyabhama in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And at one particular point, he was really upset with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, he was really upset quite a bit. And what happened is that he brought some sandalwood for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what do you think I am, a Dari sannyasi who puts on perfume and sandalwood? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always wanted to exhibit the topmost symptoms of renunciation. So he refused the sandalwood, and this particular devotee, strange, I don't remember his name, Jagadananda, thank you. That's right, Jagadananda Pandit. Jagadananda Pandit, he got so upset and said, who actually brought the sandalwood? And he broke the sandalwood right on the steps there and went all over the place. And Lord Chaitanya actually had said to give it to the deities. So then Jagannatha Pandit went into a fit, and he didn't talk or eat for several days. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very worried about it. Finally, he asked Jagannatha Pandit to cook for him. And Jagannatha Pandit came out of his fit. And of course, he's in the mood of Satyabhama, who is an expansion of Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is left-handed gopi. Left-handed means she's sometimes speak not so submissively with Krishna, talks back to Krishna. And so Satyabhama is in that mood. And so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he ate the prasadam, he said, you're cooking in an angry mood. It's very tasty, spicy. So eventually, Jagannatha Pandit wanted to go to Vrindavan to see Vrindavan. And also he was pretty upset with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still. But then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept refusing permission for him to go to Vrindavan, saying that you should not go to Vrindavan in an angry mood. This is not the proper mood. So eventually he gives Jagannatha Pandit permission to go to Vrindavan. And he says, when you go there, just stay with Sanatana Goswami, because he'll make sure that you don't violate any etiquette. Because Sanatana Goswami, as the other Goswamis of Vrindavan, are very expert in Vaishnava etiquette and etiquette towards the Holy Dham. Because you can even commit offenses against the Holy Dham, you can commit offenses against the Vaishnavas here, and what to speak of offenses against the holy name. So what happened is that, so Jagannatha Pandit, he went to Vrindavan. Of course, Lord Chaitanya also advised him, don't see the residents of Vrindavan as ordinary people, and basically don't mix with them. That's interesting. It's not that we shouldn't mix or I shouldn't mix with them, because I don't see them as ordinary people. Even if they try to cheat me, I like it. Of course, they don't give them money, so nobody cheats me. So, yeah, I appreciate it. It's like a game. If you understand the mentality of the people here, they're always very, very joyful. You don't get angry if someone, like when I go through Yatipur is on the other side of Govardhan. It means the city or the town of the sannyasi, Yati, like that. So when I go through there, there's a whole group of people who try to get donations. And those of you who go with me on Parikramma will experience that. And certain places, I mean, actually, even in certain places in the Chakra area of the Manasi Ganga, they actually pull on ladies' saris to get them to give donations. So when they ask me for a donation, instead of just getting angry with them or just running away, I just pull out my upper cloth and I say, Sannyasi, Bhiksha, give me a donation. And they start laughing and they leave me alone. But if you get angry, it's an offense, and it's not in the mood of Vrindavan. It's not in the mood of Govardhan. So in this way, Jagannatha Pandit was advised by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, don't mix with them because you're in a different mood. Because he was in the mood of Satyabhama in Dwarka. Not precisely exactly the same thing as Radharani, although Satyabhama was sometimes pretty naggy towards Krishna. Like when she nagged Krishna to get her Parijata plant. And Krishna had to actually go and fight with the demigods just to get the Parijata plant. So in this way, he was advised like that. So then he goes to Vrindavan, but he still has this angry mood. He didn't offend any of the residents of Vrindavan, but he almost offended Sanatana Goswami. Because Sanatana Goswami had on his head like a red cloth. And this red cloth was given to him by another sannyasi. So Jagannatha Pandit asked Sanatana Goswami, who has given you this red cloth? And Sanatana Goswami said, Mukunda Saraswati was the name of the sannyasi. It's hard to remember less important names. So, yeah, and then Jagannatha got so angry, took a pot up to, a pot, metal pot, or whatever it was made out of, brass or clay, to hit Sanatana Goswami on the head.
Why?
Because he was so angry, you've accepted something from another sannyasi other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you unchaste. Imagine that anger. So he got ready to hit him on the head. And then Sanatana Goswami didn't take it seriously, because he's a Brajavasi. He didn't take it seriously, and he said, I was just doing this to test you, basically. I heard about your dedication and love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but I was just doing this to test you. So anyway, so the main point of the story, because there's so many interesting things that happen, which I have not found it. He wrote this beautiful book, Prema Vivarta, which is really wonderful. The illusion of prema, isn't it? Vivarta. Of course, all of us are in Vivarta, but we're not in Prema Vivarta right now. We're in Maya Vivarta. Better get us some water or something. Oh.
She okay?
Yeah, she's okay. The air here is actually kind of cloud, not just cloudy, all this particulate matter.
Right.
So anyway, so he wrote this beautiful book, Prema Vivarta, which actually talks about his loving exchanges with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very intimate book. So anyway, so that was the point that I wanted to make for everyone, is that we should be very careful how we deal with the people here. We should be very loving, very careful. And it's not that you have to give all the beggars money either. That's not necessary, but just be respectful to everybody, seeing everybody as a great devotee of Krishna. And really, we should have that attitude, not with everybody, we see everybody as a great devotee, but we should see everybody as a devotee. And they've just, at least those who have forgotten their relationship with Krishna, we should just see them as people with amnesia, who have forgotten their relationship with Krishna. We don't see anyone as demons. Just like, so there was one young man here today, and he was saying, "Oh, there's so many demons in Vrindavan."
Not anymore.
No demons, no demons, no demons.
You good?
You all right?
Yes, I just take a little
Tickle. Okay. So anyway, so that's a brief introduction to the Brickman. And then I'd like to, of course, tomorrow morning we're going to start at 7 o'clock in the morning. And every day we do a half parikrama. The reason we do a half parikrama instead of the full parikrama is that gives us an opportunity to stop at the different places and tell the different stories. Otherwise, if you do a full parikrama, it takes most of the day. And
You wanna go off separate?
No, that would just make it even worse.
if you do a full parikrama, then it could take a large part of the day, and then you'll be really exhausted if you want to stop at any places. And you really can't enjoy or deepen your relationship with Govardhan when it goes like that. I mean, if I'm here alone, then I may do a full parikrama. It takes me about 3 hours or so to go around. But to really, I know that's very quick. But the point is to actually be absorbed in Govardhan, not just ritualistically run around. I see sometimes people just like run around just to get around, but it's the mood, it's the bhav that you're trying to awaken. And this is the most important thing. Even if you can just go around one Govardhan Shila and have the right bhav, that's actually more valuable than going around 100 times with the wrong bhav or motion. You understand? So it's not a question of, oftentimes, because we're trained up in a certain way, we think of quantity. I did so many dandavats today. I chanted so many rounds. Did you hear any of them? No. So the whole point is one, Hare Krishna. Of course, we should chant our 16 rounds, but the point is to chant once. Oops. Once you can chant the holy name with devotion, you've got it made at that particular point. Like it says, once if you say to Krishna, from this day forward, I'm yours, then Krishna accepts you. So try to remember that. So try to deepen your relationship with Govardhan. And meditate, and not only meditate, but visualize as we go around Govardhan. And we tell the different pastimes that occurred in each particular place. You just, sometimes you can even close your eyes and just think about and visualize. Visualize means actually to see it in your mind's eyes. It's called a spurti. The spurti means like a vision, but it's not exactly, that's not exactly what a spurti is. A spurti would be something like if I walked out the door here and I saw Radha and Krishna dancing outside. I wouldn't come back in. So, and I wouldn't tell any of you about that. That's right. I wouldn't tell you. I just, why'd you take so long? Oh, I was sneezing. So that's what a spurti is. But really, we can awaken our Krishna consciousness by connecting with the sound vibration of the description, the sound vibration of the holy names, and actually visualizing, because we are very visual people, actually visualizing these different pastimes taking place. Like today, we were at the Manasa Ganga, for example, and there's this beautiful pastime, many beautiful pastimes that occur there. Of course, for one, there's the whole story of the Manasa Ganga, where Krishna killed the Vatsasura, the calf demon. And when Krishna killed the Vatsasura, the coward boys did pretty much the same thing that the gopis did when Krishna killed the Aristasura at Radhakund. They said to Krishna, the coward boys said to Krishna, that you are too contaminated, so you must leave here and go to the Ganges immediately and take a bath. And then Krishna said, I don't want to leave Vrindavan. I never leave Vrindavan. So then he manifested the Ganges from his mind. It's called Manasi Ganga. And so the Manasi Ganga was there. So it's supposed to be the largest body in Braj. But actually, I've been to Suryakund. It's actually bigger. Suryakund is actually bigger than that. But at least in those days, it was the largest body. And so later on, I mean, you could just picture that in your mind. The coward boy is just saying to Krishna, I'm just making that point right now. I'm not going to tell all the stories. But the coward boy is just getting really upset with Krishna. You know, you kill a calf. Oh my God. There's that one story in the Bhagavatam, and I forget the name. You know, names I'm not so good at. But there was someone who was assigned to kill, to guard the cows at night. Remember the story?
Yeah.
What was the name of the guy?
No. Can't remember.
No. Anyway, someone will remember. Anyway, so he was assigned by his guru to guard the cows. And so, yeah, it starts with a P. You're right. And so what happened is that a tiger came to attack the cows in the middle of the night, and he had a sword. He was assigned by his guru. And he attacked the tiger and cut off the tiger's ear, but he killed the cow. So he was cursed by his guru because of that. He has to become a Shudra his next life. So sometimes you find that gurus that get quite cursy. These stories, isn't it? Get angry at the disciples. Just for a simple mistake, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's just wild, isn't it? So many angry gurus. So, Prashrada was his name. Prashrada. Prashrada. I know it comes to me after a while. So anyway, that was the guy's name. So anyway, he did austerities and didn't have to take birth as a Shudra in his next life. And then there's another story about King Nimi. You know the story of King Nimi?
Yeah.
That's even heavier. He chanted Hare Krishna without his guru's permission to sacrifice. And then he got cursed to die, and he cursed his guru to die. And then what happened is they both died. And he was happy because he went back to Godhead, but his guru stayed in the material world. Nah, that was Vashishta. So anyway, getting back to, so we have to understand how serious it is to kill a cow or a calf. You know, many of us from the Western world, practically everybody here is from the Western world. You know, you drive by McDonald's and everything like that, slaughterhouses and everything. And it's just so serious. It's like the biggest sin practically you can commit. And so the coward boys, getting back to the point, so I'm just elaborating on the pastime a little bit, why the coward boys were so upset, or why the gopis were so upset when Arishtashura was killed. Because it's unbelievable. I mean, you can do anything, you can smoke marijuana, but don't kill a cow. I mean, Krishna even got intoxicated. Not there's no story about Krishna taking marijuana. But Krishna got intoxicated. Krishna got intoxicated is described by in the Goswami's literature. Sometimes he would drink honey wine. And he was so intoxicated that he would pour the wine into the bottom of the glass, you know, rather than the top of the glass, and got it all over the place. And he got Balaram getting intoxicated. So nobody says, oh, that was bad intoxication. So, you know, talking about levels of sin. Of course, when Krishna does it, it's not sinful. But as far as levels of sin, I think Gometa, you know, killing the cow is actually probably the topmost level of sin. So the coward boys saw Krishna kill this little, cute little calf. You know, calves are a little cute things, you know, hold them, pet them, kiss them. And so they get angry. So picture this, picture it in your mind, this whole story. You don't need a cartoon, a little Krishna cartoon, isn't it? You can have this little Krishna cartoon going on in your mind and in your heart when you go around Govardhan. Yeah, so when you go to that place, just picture, wow, Krishna, coward boys are angry at Krishna. Krishna creates the Manasa Ganga. And then, of course, many other stories occurred around that area with Nanda Maharaj one time wanted to go to the actual Ganges. And Krishna said, don't go, because this is the Manasa Ganga here. We don't want you to leave Braj. And Manasa Devi, Ganga Devi, sorry. Ganga Devi actually came out of the Manasa Ganga to show that she was non-different than the Manasa Ganga. And then there's the final boat pastime. Just like today, we were walking by the Manasa Ganga, and I saw some people on the boat. It wasn't Krishna. There's some tourists with cameras taking selfies. So I don't think when Krishna crossed the Manasa Ganga on the boat, that he was taking selfies. They were too busy. So then, you know, immediately when I saw that, I just saw Krishna on the boat. I mean, not that I'm in, let's say, having a hallucination or anything like that. But in my mind's eye, I actually saw Krishna crossing the Manasa Ganga with the gopis. There weren't any ladies on those all night. So don't worry.
They were Prabhus.
Prabhus or they're Brajavasis. Oh, whatever, they were tourists from Delhi. So, Delhi Vasis. So they were, so, you know, so in other words, we have to develop that sort of vision while we're here of seeing everything connected to Krishna. Even things that are apparently in our mundane mind that appear to be mundane actually we should see them connected to Krishna. Somehow or other. Yomam Pashati Sarvatra Savam Shamai Pashati. Dashaham na pranashami, Sachame na pranashati. As Krishna says in the Gita, one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me is never lost to me, nor am I ever lost to him. So that's my introduction. If anyone has any questions, otherwise we can do some reading. You have a question?
Yes, so this one is based on Bhagavad Gita. So you know how Bhagavad Gita is a main part of Mahabharata. So I just wanted to know, is there other parts in Mahabharata other than Bhagavad Gita that we should consider to be significant and noteworthy other than Bhagavad Gita?
The whole Mahabharata is significant, right? Is there any part of Mahabharata that's not significant?
No, like for you to learn, to learn.
Well, we don't memorize the Mahabharata, if that's your question, or the verses in the Mahabharata. But the whole Mahabharata has some very interesting lessons for us. You know, all the different characters. I mean, I was just making reference to the Mahabharata the other day. Yeah, we were talking about the Mahabharata and how actually the prequels to the Mahabharata, how all these different demons appeared in these different roles. How Duryodhana was Kali, the personality, the age of Kali, and Shakuni was Dwarpa Yuga, and the Pandavas, of course, you know, they were the sons of the different demigods, but also eternal associates of the Supreme Personality of God. And so just hearing about each and every one of their ontological position, that means who they were previously or what sort of demons they were. You know, you got Kalanemi became Kamsa, and Viprachiti became Jarasandha. So just hearing about all these things, you know, it's Krishna Katha. Itihasa Purananam Panchama Veda Uchate, right? It's the fifth Veda. And even the Upanishads are nice. I was reading a section of one of the Upanishads the other day. Which Upanishad was that? It was the, anyway, I forget which Upanishad it was. But it's very interesting. It was a discussion about the ontology of the soul, I mean, the nature of the soul. And it was a discussion between the guru and disciple. And so having the understanding, of course, before coming in contact with Srila Prabhupada, there's no way I could have understood what was going on. But having the understanding of the Siddhanta that Srila Prabhupada has given us, then I really can understand the Upanishads. Before I came to the movement, I could never understand the Upanishads. You know, I read the Upanishads and so it's just like, you know, nice poetry. Om Purna Purnamidam, okay. Om sounds nice. Purna, complete, okay, I got it. But nothing was really clicking. But by Prabhupada's mercy, I was able to understand the Upanishads. Trying to remember which Upanishad it was. Oh yeah, the Chandogya. Chandogya, actually, Chandogya. You pronounce it Chandogya? Yep, Dogya. Sometimes they pronounce Chandogya, a different way, Dogya. But it's almost like dog, Chandog, Chandogya, and Chan Upanishad, which is actually really amazing. So all these Vedic literatures, oops, one should minimize. Oh, where's Go Cool? You don't know. Your friend just disappeared.
They went to Vrindavan, but they're not back.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw them.
Oh, so anyway, so yeah, the point I'm making is that by Prabhupada's mercy, we're able to understand these things and come in contact with the Brajapasiks. You know, it's really nice. So by Prabhupada's mercy, we can visualize these things, these different pastimes of the Lord. So there's no literature that's less important. They're all important. Of course, the Bhagavatam is the most important. So you may say, how can you say there's no literature that's less important? You say the Bhagavatam is more important, most important, because it's not comparative. Bhagavatam is most important, but they're all important. Nothing's less important. You understand?
Yeah.
But if you have to put more time in, read the Bhagavatam. You know, you have to focus on a particular literature, then read the Bhagavatam. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, Guru.
Yes.
As you were saying that we should be mindful of not causing any offense.
Yeah.
We've been to Vrindavan over this weekend, past few days. The people were so, I know, people would not
Pushy.
there, but they're so pushing, not even being mindful of children or
Yeah.
elderly, and they were, I mean, no regard for anyone, and they were just pushing.
Mm.
I think if they would have followed the rules, they would have.
Pushy, what were they doing when they were pushy? Trying to see the
Bhakti
deities? Yeah.
and Nandagao, they were so pushing, and you actually lose the desire to actually take the darshan of deities. You just want to get out of the crowd.
So I'll tell you a story of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. One time, Lord Chaitanya Jagannath, and there was a pushy lady there. And she was so pushy, she stood on Lord Chaitanya's shoulders. And Govinda, who was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's assistant, he said, "Get down, you're on Lord Chaitanya, you're on Chaitanya." And Lord Chaitanya said to Govinda, "You are an Adivas, you're a primitive person. You know the Adivasas. You're an Adivas, you know." And Lord Chaitanya said, "I wish I had as much devotion as this lady." I said, "You really," that's God in the mood of Srimati Radharani, saying, "I wish I had as much devotion," you know, appreciating the lady's devotion. So what happens, it happens to me too, you know. I don't get a free ride, even in Vrindavan. You know, sannyasi doesn't mean anything to them. Old person doesn't make anything to them. It's just like, okay, out of my way, buddy. Radha Shyam Sundar are there. Radhe, Radhe. But actually, I tell you, more important than taking darshan of the deities is to respect the devotion of others. So, I mean, that's the mood I have when I go there. I just think how enthusiastic these ladies are. Of course, the interesting thing is in the Krishna Balaram Mandir, I always tell a story in this regard. Many years ago, things were a lot more chauvinistic than they are today. Now they're a little chauvinistic. I was just speaking to one of my disciples who lives here in Vrindavan. And she's not allowed, nor is any lady allowed to lead kirtan in front of the deities, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Shri Gaura. So, I mean, if I was here full time, I'd lead a protest, but anyway, that's another. Because we're not this body. We're not this body. I mean, what if Lakshmi came? You know, Lakshmi. What if Radharani came? What if the gopis came and they wanted to chant Radha? No, you're not allowed to chant Radha Shyam Sundar. But I'm a gopi. But we're the brahmacharis. It's a higher position than being a gopi.
Who made those rules?
Me. No, I didn't make the rules. No comment. No comment. Doesn't matter. So anyway, so many years ago, this is before, wow, maybe even before the turn of the century. No, it was actually, I think, yeah, 99. I was the GBC, actually going back a little bit. Let me tell more of the story before we continue. So at that point, before 99, the ladies were not allowed to even come up front to take darshan of the deities. They had to stay in the back. So, you know, we have the saying in America, back to the bus, which is based on the racism. You know, America, we were a very racist country. I think Australia also was pretty good at that, right? Used to shoot out the Aborigines, shoot the Aborigines, so you're pretty racist there too. And Indians are pretty racist too. I guess everybody's racist.
Yeah.
So we had this whole thing that if there was a public bus, the black people had to get to the back. They couldn't sit at the same lunch counter as the white people. They couldn't use the same bathrooms. You know, there were different bathrooms, black, white, like that. So it was almost like that with the ladies, you know, back to the temple room, you know. Or even here's another story. There was, when they first opened up the Los Angeles temple, they renovated the temple room. They wouldn't allow the ladies to go up to the front either. They had to stand in the balcony. They were only allowed in the balcony. And then, but Prabhupada didn't like that, but he joked one time when the ladies complained, and through the men went and said, the ladies are complaining about this, and Prabhupada said, tell them that this way on the balcony, they're standing on the men's heads. So they should be happy. But later on, things were changed. So anyway, so Vrindavan, it was like that. They weren't allowed, the ladies weren't allowed. Can you imagine that in Vrindavan? You got all these temples, you know, and every other temple, ladies, like Bhakti Bihari, the ladies are in front, men are in the back. Isn't it? The Bhakti Bihari, they close the curtains, open them up. Ah! Everywhere else, I mean, I just saw a video of Radha Govinda in Jaipur, and everybody's there up front, you know, dancing, circumambulating the deities. So anyway, so getting back to the story, is that I was the GBC chairman at that time, 99, I believe. And I came and the ladies complained. There's one of them, I got this Parvati, I don't know if any of you know her. She's still alive. And she complained, they're not letting you see the deeds. So I just took my authority and said, ladies are allowed, they should have equal rights with the men. And things were a little bit more authoritarian. It was before too much of the internet was prominent. So I could get away with that. Nowadays you can't. Nowadays, if you're in a position of authority, it's just like they'll post something up about you on Facebook. And then you got to get all these letters of people writing to you, you know, how can you do this against Vedic culture? You know, what about us men who are supposed to be the best? You know, isn't it? You get all this stuff. I mean, it's incredible. Like right now, this whole discussion about VDG, you know, Vaishnavi Diksha Gurus, it's just like, oh my God. 20 years ago, it wouldn't have been like that. It would be just like, all right, GBC wants it, fine. So I try to take darshan of the deities again. And all these ladies are in front. And they're elbowing me. I said, you know, I'm your savior. You should be like, have pictures of me, you know. Anyway, I was thinking like that, just going, get out of the way. You know, I'm trying to offer obeisances and they're stepping on my head. And so I go to the temple. Can you do anything about these ladies? He said, you created it. You have to suffer. So in this way, you know, we appreciate people's devotion. And Krishna was teaching me the hard way to appreciate all the ladies' devotion, isn't it? So this way, you know, so now I go to the temple and I, you know, if I have to stand in the back and just stand on my toes and, you know, see the deities or something. I'd hold my camera up like this so it's above everybody's head. I'm happy. I don't think I get special mercy by being in front anymore. So we have this whole concept that if I can be just right in front of the deities, then I get more mercy than if I'm in the back of the temple room. Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's actually your mood of service, and particularly your mood of service in the Vaishnavas, that's important. And then Krishna will manifest, because Krishna say Tomar, Krishna dite para. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give it to me. You know, so the Vaishnavas have Krishna. The Vaishnavas have bhakti. Bhakti lata bij. Brahmanda brahmate kon bhagavan bhagavan. Jiv Guru Krishna Prasadi Bhakti lata bij. So the Vaishnavas are able to give us Krishna. And so that really, that's the important point. So if you see these enthusiastic people who want to see Bhakti Bihari, you see how wonderful it is. Just like today, we were walking around Govardhan, walking in the opposite direction. And, you know, people were coming, touching, not touching me purposely, you know, just rubbing by me and everything like that. And I was feeling really happy. These people are so enthusiastic, they're going around Govardhan. I wasn't thinking, what about me? You know, don't touch me, buddy. I'm a sannyasi. It was just, it was fun seeing everyone's enthusiasm to serve Krishna. So if we take darshan of the Vaishnava's enthusiasm, then we actually can see Krishna. So if Krishna arranges that, and you go to the temple and you can't get close to the deities, Krishna's arrangement. I mean, because we like to get close to these, like to walk up, you know, right in front, like that, but it's much more valuable to appreciate and love and serve Vaishnavas. And so there, and it's wonderful, not just that you're serving them, but you're in so much ecstasy that these people are getting Krishna consciousness. I mean, it's just like prasadam, for example. Many devotees, not most devotees, when it's time for the Sunday feast, they get all worried. There's not going to be anything left over. We've got too many guests in the temple today. And so they'll pack everything in a giant plate like that, right? Instead of let everybody eat prasadam, and if I don't get any, that's fine. I'm not going to starve to death, right? But I want my prasadam. They had such nice club diamonds there, and samosas and everything like that. Yeah, but isn't it more glorious to see others enjoying the prasadam, the samosas, and club diamonds, getting diabetes? Oh, sorry about that. Why should I get diabetes? I mean, it's more glorious. So you may say, oh, taking prasadam is a spiritual activity, but it's more spiritual to enjoy others taking prasadam. How about that? Seeing the deities is a spiritual activity, but it's more spiritual to enjoy seeing or to appreciate or to facilitate others taking darshan of the deities. Think about it. So we have to arrange our priorities. Otherwise, we remain Kanishta Adhikaris. A Kanishta Adhikari is one who's basically Krishna's in the temple, but Krishna's in the heart. Krishna's in the heart. Krishna's in everyone's heart, and the devotees are in Krishna's heart, right? And Krishna doesn't know anyone else other than as his, other than them, and they do not know anyone else other than Krishna as theirs. So it's just, to me, that's so glorious. I mean, just like I come here to Govardhan and then we have a lot of people. So I enjoy it a lot more than just when I come here and dance around Govardhan, Radhe, Radhe. I've come here alone, during the summer when it's hot. When nobody could come, that's when I wanted to come. Because it was so hot during the summer and I was going around Krikramat. And it was rainy season too. One time it started raining and I was on the other side of Govardhan and the water was up to my waist and I basically had to swim and wade back here. So that was fun. Radhe, Radhe. The snakes were swimming by. The snakes and the garbage and everything else. Radhe, Radhe. Hope I don't get an infection. None of these creatures bite me. There weren't any monkeys around for some reason.
They were on the.
Trees, yeah. That was the first time I didn't see any monkeys. So the point is that, yes, I mean, that was very enjoyable, but it's actually more enjoyable to, sacrifice my time and bring everybody here, go around, go down. And then I get more realization, more mercy from Krishna. So hope that addresses your question, yeah. I would just give this little, you want to see Bhakti Vihari, you want to see Radha Shamsundar, wonderful. And, but it requires, just like Trinadapi Suni Chena, I'm not that important. I'm not important. Sometimes we get some position, where we want people to recognize it's important, especially spouses, gurus. And so the artist is actually getting advanced in devotional. Just like I'm just a servant of a servant of a servant of a servant of the Lord maintains for gopis and Vrindavan.